Alright, so I'm here, just picked up my car. Well, I haven't quite picked it up yet. I'm still in the parking lot of the service station. Seatbelt's buckled. And turns out, apparently the problem all along was the fuel pump. So let's give it a shot. See how she goes. Starts a lot quicker, that's for sure. Must have had a big guy in here. Hold on. Got to adjust the steering wheel back to normal here. Okay. We're just pretty much going to run around the block here. We'll go up the hill and turn around and come back down and just to check her out. Problem, the fuel pump was only putting out around, I forget what he said, around 30 psi or something like that. And while that was enough to have it running normally in idle, oh yeah, we're going good now. Probably should slow down a bit. But whenever the engine needed more fuel, the 30 psi wasn't enough. And of course, out of all the things I could check, I do not have a fuel pressure tester, so that was about one of the only things that I couldn't check. Fuel pressure normally on this car should be around 46 psi, so obviously the 30 psi wasn't quite cutting it. Got her warmed up, and we're going to go for another hill here soon. Did I ever say I hate automatics? Not much you can do though. The hill. Alright, that's good enough. Turn in here. Oof. Transmission's still a bit funky, but as I said before in the other video, it's a 1990 A604 original transmission. I have no clue when the last time it was actually serviced was. Plus, it's been sitting for about 4 years, so that probably didn't help things any. I've got a set of input and output speed sensors that I'm going to install, whether that'll help it any or not, and probably do a filter and fluid change and flush on it. But obviously that won't happen until springtime, because don't have a garage to work in right now because of the Rampage. And no way I'm doing transmission work outside in this weather. Alright, and here we go. Yeah. Whoa, someone blew up. I was wondering what all that smoke was from. Whew, it stinks. It smells like he ate a belt or something. So now we'll come next paycheck, run out to find a Sunoco and use my fuel perks up and fill her up with some high test gas, get everything else cleaned out, and we'll be good to go. And let's see, what else am I going to have to do with this car whenever the weather warms up. Pull the dash out because the guy I bought it from said the heater core was leaking. Pull the dash, check the heater core, possibly replace the heater core. Rebuild the air conditioning system. I have newer air conditioning lines from, I believe it was a 92 or 93 Imperial. That are the aluminum air conditioning lines instead of the steel ones like that were on here, which were totally rusted to pieces. Get that done. I already have the new compressor on. The lines are capped off, obviously, but do that, get the air conditioning working, we don't need that much fan. The other problem was the blend door motor was bad. That's already been replaced, so all that's left is the air conditioning, get that working, try to figure out where the leak was, because there was water coming in somehow, and that's what caused the floors to rot out in the beginning. And what else? Basically, just put everything back to... Oh, my little custom-built air suspension pump that I'm working on. Have to get another valve for it. But because where they mounted the air suspension on this is under the rear fender, it would get saturated with crap from the road and the pump would seize up. So I'm going to reroute the lines into the trunk and convert a 12-volt compressor that I have to work with the air suspension. And the nice thing about that is I will also have an onboard 12-volt air supply just in case I need to pump up a tire or whatever. So I have to rebuild the Infinity speakers as well, because the rear drive, I've already rebuilt the driver's door speaker, but the passenger's door speaker is still a little finicky. The problem with it is the amps. There's cold solder joints in the amps apparently, and the speakers will cut out. And not work right. The speakers themselves are fine, but it's just problems with the amp. But there we go. All done. Oops. And I dropped the keys. But there we go.